This is the transition on Atlantic Television Network. Pro-Tinubu supporters led by Tony Okocha under the auspice of Renewed Hope family in Rivers State has continued to maintain lead and stands for President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Our correspondent completes the report.
In Port Harcourt, leader of the Renewed Hope family, Sir Tony Okocha, maintained that while other states are flying flags of Russia, Renewed Hope family in Rivers State will continue to fly the flag of Nigeria. Tony Okocha, on behalf of the #1 leader of the Renewed Hope family in Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, thanked the supporters for their voluntary and organic procession in support for President Bola Tinubu.
I want to say just a few things. One is that once we saw people flying the flags of Russia, we in Rivers State we fly the Nigerian flag. This is the Tinubu's family in Rivers State. Yes. The Tinubu's family in Rivers State is under the leadership of His Excellency S1 Nyesom Wike. You can see what I'm wearing. What is this? 002. What does it mean to you? 001. We believe that Rome was not built in a day. Is that correct? Yes.
Okocha therefore slammed the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, who claimed to love President Bola Tinubu, adding that the governor allegedly sponsored protesters who during the protests supported them with pure water and bread money.
That reason is the fact that the man who funded, the man who sponsored, the man who held midnight meetings with the youth, I refuse to call them hoodlums, is the person, the only person that benefited from the 10 days of inactivity in Nigeria, particularly in Rivers State. Did you see that? Yes, sir. On the fourth day that youth gathered, the governor had the presence of mind to take the rostrum to tell the youth that he will pass their message to Mr. President. To someone, the governor said that he will give them something for pure water and what? Bread. Pure water and bread. And he wants us and tells the world that he's a supporter of Tinubu. It is fat lie. He hates President Tinubu.
Earlier, some leaders of the Renewed Hope family in Rivers State, including women leaders, non-indigenous, Ijaw youth leaders, student leaders, amongst others, were asking Nigerians to have faith in President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, vow to continually support the visionary leadership of President Bola Tinubu and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike.
We will not kill President Tinubu. We will pray for him to succeed. We will pray for him to deliver Nigeria from the ills of this country. What we have come to do is to appeal to Rivers people and Nigerians for a little more patience.
We understand that the policies that are being introduced are a little bit harsh, but however, we believe that the policies are for the good of the people and for the masses.
Let me enjoin all of you to continue to support him Continue to your various communities to talk to people on the need why we must support our president.
We should be a little bit patient with our president.
Our love for Yesewike is unique and enormous. And we can't fold our hands to watch anybody in this state to besmirch his image. Would I agree?
No. ATM News, Port Harcourt.
Analyst says the Supreme Court judgment is a final determinant to any political related issues in the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a political analyst, Daniel Omomo, advised on the need to an apex judgment on every political issues whatsoever.
What has the Supreme Court said when issues like this come up? Judgments, several judgments, was that you must first explore the internal mechanism of the party to solve that issue. If I was illegally removed, have I exhausted all internal mechanisms to resolve that issue? One. Two,
Momo urged political parties to ensure its members resolve its internal issues with regard to fundamental rights of fair hearings and due process.
Because fair hearing, courts will listen to you when you are not given a fair hearing. When you dissolve them, once a committee established that this person should come before this committee to say, I have committed A, B, C, D offenses. Can I have the opportunity to defend myself? That was.
This is coming after Rivers State High Court nullified the appointment of the caretaker committee for the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State by the national leadership of the party. Analyst has commended the 720,000 liters capacity oxygen plant sited in Eleme River State by the United Nations. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a public affairs analyst, Obarido Thompson, said that oxygen facilities will ameliorate medically related challenges in the state.
Congratulations to Rivers people, and congratulations to Eleme too, as the host community, even though it is not for them, it is cited within them, but they have a responsibility. Yes, but they have a responsibility.
In view of sustainability, Obarido tasked the state government on accountability of use and maintenance.
What the UNICEF country coordinator mentioned is maintenance. It's a massive facility, a facility that will produce 720 liters of oxygen daily. It is massive, but do we have maintenance culture? Will this woman, with the country coordinator of UNICEF, will she come back in 2 months' time and we don't find one equipment broken down, this one is not working again?
Recall that the United Nations Children Emergency Fund has handed over a 720,000 liters capacity oxygen plant to the Rivers State government, and the plants are located at the premises of the Eleme General Hospital in Eleme local government area, was built in partnership with the federal government, Canadian government, Rivers State government, and IHS Towers. Reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, says he is not an impostor, reacting to claims by the State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehinlere. Shuaibu said calling him an impostor was an affront to the judiciary. This is coming after the Nehinlere had called Shuaibu an impostor shortly after the resumption office as the Edo State Deputy Governor. However, speaking through his Chief Press Secretary Musa Ebohina, Shuaibu fronted Neki Hare's claim, adding that it is an insult to the people of Edo State who overwhelmingly voted for the Godwill Obaseki and Philip Shuaibu joint ticket in the governorship election of September 2020. Operatives of the Delta State Police Command have arrested suspects who scam an unsuspecting victims of 1.5 million naira. According to the State Police Public Relations Officer SP Bright Edafe on X, the suspect deceived the victim by claiming to have seen a bright future for him. In a video shared by Edafe, the victim explained that one of the suspects approached him claiming to have seen a bright future around him and requested that he purchase coconut and salt. Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has called on other states of the Federation to imitate best practices to replicate the feat of Lagos State in initially generated revenue recorded. The RMAFC directed a call for other states during the research visit by the Commission to Lagos House Ikeja on Tuesday. During the visit, the State Commissioner for Finance, Abayomi Oluyomi, reinstated that the state achieved a significant milestone in IGR, increasing it by 70% over the past 5 years. Oluyomi highlighted the state initiatives including Revenue Court, ICT-led payment and collections, and the newly launched Lagos Revenue Platforms, while the Federal Commissioner representing Kwara State and member of the Mobilization and Diversification Committee of RMAFC, Alhaji Ismail Agaka, who led the delegation, lauded Lagos State's finance strength and fiscal economy. He acknowledged the Lagos State economic growth, citing its increased gross domestic products from 27 trillion to 41 trillion in 5 years. And RMFFC desire to learn from the best practices to advise other states, adding that the Commission's objective to collaborate with Lagos State and identify areas where it has shown exceptional performance. He also said Lagos State is set to transform its financial landscape by reducing reliance on federal allocations, focusing on strategic capacity building and leveraging funding from international and federal sources. While Oluyemi addressed the challenge of high interest rates on loans from commercial bank with hindered business growth, adding that RMAFCAC's support help secure loans with lower interest rates, which are crucial for stimulating development. Suspect, simply identified as Musa, has been apprehended in Amoloko area of Ibadan, Oyo State capital, with a fresh human skull of unidentified woman. Residents suspicious of their unusual behavior confronted him and demanded to see the content of the sack he was carrying, and after inspection, they discovered a human skull inside. Sharing a video on suspect on X, he later handed over to the police. And during preliminary investigation, Musa revealed that he is a part of a syndicate that deals in a sale of human body parts. He has been handed over to the police for further investigation and prosecution. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has advocated a frontline role for subnational government in the fight against climate change, even as he defended the commendable record of his government in that sector. Governor Adeleke, who disclosed this while hosting a delegation of the Green Growth Africa Sustainability Network in Osogbo, said state governments in Nigeria are at different levels of reactions and actions on the climate challenge, and also advised that raising states must start with a benchmark analysis of their peculiarities. The governor, who disclosed this, said states must be fully engaged in the view In review process, Beyond Dex research called for direct interaction between reviewers and the state Dex officers to collectively assess development in each state, and while expanding on his government activities in the field of climate change, he advocated for a renewed focus on the sub-national government in the fight against climate change. Governor Adeleke said his administration is developing a carbon finance template to ensure that the state benefits from the new world of carbon credit. Asserted that his government is a green government pursuing a robust climate change agenda. High Court of Ekiti State, presided over by Honorable Justice A.L. Ogumoye, has convicted and sentenced 4 persons to life imprisonment. The convicts are Adeoye Sunday, Adewusi Dare, Damigboye Damilola, and Ogunlayi Segun are convicted for the offense of kidnapping and 5 years imprisonment for the offense of conspiracy, while the 5th defendant, Ojotope, was however acquitted and discharged of all the offenses. The offenses are committed by the convicts on September 14, 2017 at Ikere, Ekiti, where one Madame Florence Popola, an aged woman of 75 years, was kidnapped in a house and was kept in the forest between Eyo and Awo, Ekiti for 4 days until she was eventually released after the payment of 1.5 million ransom. The 4 convicted were arrested and charged with the offenses of conspiracy and robbery, contrary to Section 6, subsection Section 6B and 1, subsection 2A of the Robbery and Firearms Special Provision Act, Cap R11, Law of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, kidnapping and conspiracy to kidnap, contrary to Section 3 and 4 of the Ekiti State Kidnap and Terrorism Prohibition Law 2015. The Director of Public Prosecution, Julius Ajibare, who prosecuted the case for Ekiti State, called 4 witnesses and tendered 8 exhibits to provide his case, while the convicts who spoke through their counsel, Chris Omokafe and Sunday Okai, gave evidence in their defense that did not call any other witnesses. The Honorable Court, after thoroughly evaluating the evidence, delivered judgment and held that the prosecution proved the offenses of conspiracy to kidnap and kidnapping against the phase to 4 defendants beyond a reasonable doubt, and the judge consequently convicted 4 out of the 5 defendants and sentenced them to life imprisonment. Kaduna State Security Council has lifted the curfew previously enforced between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. in the metropolitan area of Kaduna and Zaria. A statement by the Overseeing Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, on Tuesday said after an extensive review of the security situation in Kaduna and Zaria town and their environs, the Kaduna State Security Council, under the leadership of Governor Uba Sani, has removed the current 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew completely. The State Security Council has earlier relaxed the 24-hour curfew imposed after the violence that grazed the end bad governance in Nigeria in the state, adding that the lifting of the curfew followed a comprehensive evaluation of the security landscape in these regions. It urged law-abiding citizens to now resume their duty activities without any time restrictions in both cities, while the state government issued a stern warning regarding public gathering and processions, urging residents to seek approval from the relevant authorities to prevent any disruption of public orders, adding that security forces would remain vigilant and would not hesitate to act against any individuals or group threatening peace. The statement also said the government reiterated its commitment in inclusive governance and assured that he would continue to engage all critical stakeholders to maintain peace and unity across Kaduna State. Adamawa State Local Government Election Petition Tribunal has received 9 petitions challenging the election of some chairmen during recent poll in the council areas. The 9 petitioners, who were mostly candidates of the African Democratic Congress, are challenging the election of some of the newly inaugurated chairmen, while all the chairmen for the 21 local government councils in the state declared elected after the July 13 council polls are of the People's Democratic Party. Those who filed petitions included Mohamed Jallo, Mustafa Yusuf, Ibrahim Innocent, Jahafaru Umaru, Kardid Yaro, and Zachariah Hadamu Moa, all ADC candidates for Gombe Song, Ijeri, Aija, Yubi, North, and Jada LGAs, while others are Mohammed Lawan Bello and Shehun Lawa, also the ADC, and as chairmanship candidates for 44 and Yola North local governments respectively. There is also Gamele Grandume of the Labour Party, and Angamalie is challenging the candidacy of Kasa Danji Sharom of the PDP, who was declared as chairman of Guyuk LGA, but whom Gamalia accused of forging his school certificate. 4 persons have died in a boat mishap at Dundaya community in Wakamko local government area of Sokoto State. Head Sokoto Field Operation Office of the National Emergency Management Agency, Alaji Aliyu Kafindaji, who confirmed the incident on Tuesday in Sokoto, said a combined rescue team from NEMA, Nigerian Red Cross, Fire Service, and the State Emergency Management Agency and local drivers recovered the dead bodies on Monday. The NEMA official thanked the state and local governments and members of the community for their support so far towards the success of the rescue operations. National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Kano Zonal Command, has received 12 rescued victims of human trafficking. The agency's Zonal Commander, Mr. Abdullahi Babale, stated this on Tuesday in Kaduna while receiving the victims rescued by the Kano State Police Command. Babale said the state police arrested 3 suspects: Shafi Sulayu, 25, of Bachirawa Quarters, Kano; Rebecca Adeboyo, 22, of Kwara State; and Mojibat Olagoke, 27, from Oyo State, in connection with the trafficking, adding that the rescued victims aged between 15 and 40 were all females. The zonal commander appreciated the Kano State Commissioner of Police, Salman Dago Gaba, for his cooperation, adding that the suspect would be charged to court upon completion of investigation, and called on parents to protect their children from being exploited and lured into slavery in the name of seeking greener pasture. Babale urged the public to report suspicious cases of human traffickers and trafficking in these respective communities to appropriate authorities for prompt action. About 5 terrorists have been killed by troops deployed for counter-terrorism operation in Bama local government area of Borno State. The troop of Nigerian Army in the operation conducted on August 12, 2024, in addition to killing the terrorists, recovered bomb, a rocket-propelled gun, and 6 motorcycles, among others. The Army, in a statement on Tuesday on X, also said 44 Boko Haram terrorists and their families surrounded a troop deployed at Bama, Kiwa, and Gwoza local government area of Borno State. The service said troop arrested a notorious cattle rustler, Mawuya Ashibu, in Plateau State, adding that a total of 32 rustle cars were recovered from him. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Welcome back. This is the transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. Council of State comprising former president and head of state and the president of the Senate and Speaker of the House of Representatives, serving and retired Chief Justice of Nigeria (CJN), as well as the state governors on Tuesday passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu's administration. This is as the Council of State has described the recent anger and bad governance protests as an insurrection and the movement aimed at regime change. The former leaders that passed the confidence vote on President Bola Tinubu includes General Yakubu Gowon, Muhammadu Buhari, and Abdullah Sami Abubakar, as well as former President Goodluck Jonathan. The confidence vote was passed during the National Council of the State meeting presided over by President Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Both former President Buhari and Jonathan attended the meeting physically, while General Gowon and Abubakar joined visually. However, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB were absent, and there was no reason given for the absence. Briefing State House correspondents after the meeting, the governor of Kwara State and the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdurrahman Abdurazik, said the council unanimously passed a vote of confidence on Tinubu on the way he has governed the country. He said the council was satisfied with the presentation made by ministers on the progress of the economy. Also speaking, the Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Dr. Dele Alake, said the council also praised Tinubu for reinstating a forceful takeover of government. On his part, Minister of Finance Wale Edun said he had the opportunity to present the Council of State to update them on the economy and the progress made so far. President Bola Tinubu has approved the national policy on health workforce migration to address the challenges facing Nigerians' health human resources. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Patel, who disclosed this on his X handle, said the policy is more than just a response to the ongoing exodus of healthcare professionals, but a comprehensive strategy to manage, harness, and reverse health workers' migration. The national policy on health workforce migration addresses the critical challenges facing Nigerians' health human resources, while the AU Champion for Human Resources for Health and Community Health Delivery Partnership said the president's commitment to the resilient and robust healthcare system is powerfully reflected in the forward-looking policy. While many Nigerians healthcare workers leave the country for greener pasture, leaving their colleagues to contend with additional workload and extended call hours, while describing them as inadequate equipment, worsening insecurity, poor working condition, and poor salary structure. The minister also said the central to the vision is the Nigerian Human Health Resources Program, which sets as framework for regular review of working conditions, ensuring that health workers, especially in rural and undeserving areas, receive a recognition and reward they deserve by fostering an environment conducive to professionals' growth and stability, including the policy aimed to restrain top talent within Nigeria, adding that the policy addresses the return and the reintegration of Nigerian health professionals from the diaspora. He said by establishing the streamlined registration processes and providing attractive incentives, the policy not only encourages the return of the talented professionals, but actively reintegrates them into the health system. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris said President Bola Tinubu's administration has set up the structures to create 3 million jobs for Nigerian youth through the 3 million Technical Talent Program. According to the statement by the Special Assistant on Media to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Rabiu Ibrahim Idris, made this known at the Nigerian Police Youth Summit in Abuja on the summit theme, enhancing the Nigerians' youth value for national security intelligence, while the minister, who was represented by the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Malam Jabri Ndasi, said the 3MTT program being driven by the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovations and Digital Technology, is an incubator for the education and skill desires to enhance the capacity and the value of the youth in national security intelligence. The minister stressed that the enactment of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund is one of the president's notably initiative aimed at making significant impact on the educational pursuits of Nigerian youths, adding that on the high cost of the transportation in the country, Idris said the introduction of the compressed natural gas policy by the president seeks to leverage the nation's significance in gas by bringing down the cost of transportation by about 70%. He urged the youth to key into government policies and explore them for personal comfort, economic growth and empowerment, and stressed that the need for the youth to imbibe the necessary morals and values to play their expected roles in national security intelligence, and also one on the national security implications of spreading fake news, disinformation and misinformation, emphasizing that the act is the flagrant abuse of the freedom of expression which the present administration upholds. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris has unveiled a comprehensive 5-pronged vision aimed at amplifying the policies and programs of the federal government. Speaking at the one-day retreat held in Abuja on Tuesday, the minister stresses the need for transparency in public communications as a cornerstone for restoring public trust and effectively conveying the government agenda to both citizens and the global community, adding that the new vision, which aligned with President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope initiatives, also seeks to modernize the ministry technology and talent, reorients national values and create a more favorable environment for media operations in Nigeria. Idris urged the ministry staff and its parastatals to work in synergy, highlighting the importance of their roles in delivering results that resonate with the government's commitment to national development, and also outline the 5 key aspects of the vision, which include restoring public trust in government communications, amplifying federal government policies and programs, as well as aspiring Nigerian narratives and reorienting national values, modernizing technology and talent in the federal government information and communication system, and creating an enabling environment for media operation in Nigeria through favorable policies and incentives. At the beginning of the tenure, Idris outlined his vision for the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, committing to transparency in public communication and building trust between the government and the citizens. He stressed that transparency is crucial for fostering and reinforcing that trust. It is also urged the ministry staff to ensure that they are on track to delivering the ministry's mandate, which is to lead the management of the image and reputation of the people and government of Nigeria through a professional and dynamic public information system that facilitates access and feedback from citizens and the global community. Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed an application seeking an interim injunction to stop protesters from continuing the End Bad Governance protest. This is coming after the aggrieving Nigerians who were frustrated with the economic hardship in the country in some parts of Nigeria trooped out from August 5th to 10 to protest the removal of fuel subsidies at bad governance and rising anger in the country, while Daniadi Goji, Buki Adeyomi Adizabo, and 13 other Nigerians had in an application dated August 12 sought the enforcement of the fundamental right against the organizations who chaired the protest. The applicants sued Tax It Back movement, Concerned Nigerian Against Hunger, Initiative for Change, Human Rights Co-Advocacy Initiatives, as well as Nigerian August Corporation Against Corruption Initiatives. Citizens for Change Advocacy Initiatives and Timely Intervention Organizations, Active Citizens Group, and Students for Change Coalition as phase to 10 respondents respectively. While the applicants also sue Total Intervention refurbished Nigerian Tomorrow Today, Our Future in Our Hands initiatives, Youth Against Tyrants Save Nigeria Movement, Omoyele Suare, and Social Democratic Party as 11th to 19th respondents. Others respondents in the matter are the Autonomy General of the Federal and Security Agencies, while Justice Latifu is a ruling, however, dismissed the ex-party application for lacking its merit, and the trial judge held that the end-bad governance protest ended last week, noting that there was no evidence presented before the court showing that the protesters will reconvene later. The judge said the applicant's lawyers cannot rush his notice ex parte without providing the required affidavit to support a request for the interim injunction and substitute service, and later adjourned the hearing on the motion on notice to August 29. Pan-Yoruba Social, Cultural and Social Political Organization Afenifere has condemned the clamor for military coup by some Nigerians. A statement issued by the organization's National Publicity Secretary, Comrade Jare Ajayi, Afenifere asserted that the country's democratic dispensation should not be sacrificed or truncate for any reason. Afenifere's The communique came on the heel of the clamor for coup by some Nigerians who participated in the just concluded hunger protest, adding that the protesters who were flying Russian flags agitated for military rules in the country. Afenifere spokesman also called on Nigerians, especially youth, to be watchful, citing that some persons use the protest to advance personal causes. These include reports that 4 billion naira was raised as donation for the protest. And now to business news. Minister of Finance and the coordinating of the economic Wale Edun has initiated a high-level stakeholders meeting to implement President Bola Tinubu's directive for the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited to sell crude oil to local refineries in Naira. The meeting, involving the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and Oil, Senator Hyacinth Lakubiri, Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Malekari, Executive Chairman of the Federal Island Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji, and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Ladia Jafia, was held at the Finance Ministry headquarters in Abuja. According to a post on the official X page of the ministry, the initiative is intended to strengthen the domestic economic and support the sustainable operation of local refineries, including the Dangote refineries, adding that the initiative is intended to strengthen the democratic economic and support the sustainable operation of the local refineries, including the Dangote refinery. The meeting brought together important stakeholders, including Minister of the State for Petroleum Resources on Oil, Senator Heniken Alakuberi, Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Mera Kiari, Executive Chairman of the Federal and Land Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, as well as Lafia Jafia and other notable participants. And during the in-depth discussion, the Finance Minister expressed strong confidence in the collaborative effort of all stakeholders to achieve the directive's objectives. This is coming after the July 29th, President Bola Tinubu directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to sell crude oil to Dangote refinery and the upcoming refineries in Naira. And the Federal Executive Council had approved the 450,000 barrels meant for domestic consumption by offering in Naira to Nigerian refineries, using the Dangote refinery as a pilot. Analysts has advocated for the mass production and distribution of vehicles and compressed natural gas across the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Blowout, a socio-political expert, Loveday Purum, tasked the federal government on the need for indigenous brand patronage in the transport industry.
Encourage, our people what are being produced locally here to thrive. They can position those products in the global market, and believe me, we will sell. So that's another area that we must pay key attention to. This thing shouldn't just stop at the demonstration stage. The government should go a step further. If possible, all ministries, all vehicles that should be used by the ministries across the state should be vehicles produced by innocent.
Oporum also decried against misappropriation of funds and projects by politicians.
And do it. And of course, every project, every businessman wants to make profit. Make the required profit. Don't form, don't try to pad whatever just because it's government project so that you pick your own and all of that. And government should also try to deal with the persons.
This is coming after President Bola Tinubu urged that with the huge deposit of gas in Nigeria, the federal government would work towards achieving a more productive and innovative CNG power transportation system for the citizens. International Monetary Fund said Nigerian June inflation rate is the highest among top African economies. Data showed that Nigeria, the fourth largest economy in Africa, has the highest inflation rate at 34.19% among its peers, while Morocco has the sixth largest African economy, has the lowest inflation rate of 1.8% in June. South Africa, the largest economy in Africa, has an inflation rate of 5.1% at the end of the first half of 2024, while Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producers, is currently contending with a record higher inflation rate at 34.19% in June 2024 due to the two-time evaluation of the naira and removal of fuel subsidy by the current administration. The inflationary trend have raised Nigeria's interest rate by the combined 800 basis points from 18.75% last July to 26.75% as the central bank continued to deploy monetary tools to restore the battered economy, while food inflation, which constitutes the largest percentage of the headlines inflation, is currently 40.87%, including the cost of energy, transportation and basic commodities, have skyrocketed in the last 1 year, making life difficult for the masses. The National Bureau of Statistics, which is the country's statistics agency, had the inflation rate for July on Thursday. You are watching it. Still ahead, international tidbits. Tanzanian police have arrested prominent politician Tundu Lissu and 4 other opposition officials. He said 3 politicians, including Lissu, were detained in the southwestern town of Mbeya on the eve of their planned rally to mark the World Youth Day. Gadama's chairman and the head of his youth wing were arrested, and the reported arrest comes as a year after President Samia Hassan lifted a ban on the opposition gathering and promised to restore competitive politics, while the police banned the Gadema rally, saying it was intended to cause violence. The site of the party's rally called for people to come together like the youth in Kenya, referring to the week of a deadly anti-government demonstration in the neighboring East African country. The police have not officially spoken about the arrest, while Chadema spokesman John Mayma said group of youth traveling in hay buses were arrested and forced back to their respective regions under armed escort, and about 10,000 young people were set to meet in Mbeya to celebrate Youth Day with the slogan "Take charge of the future," according to the party's youth wing, but police said no such meeting would be allowed in the city or elsewhere in the country. Armed wing of the Palestinian group Hamas said its militant has shot and killed an Israeli hostage and wounded 2 others, both women, in 2 separate incidents in Gaza after Palestinian militants seized 251 hostages during their October 7 attack on Israel that triggered the ongoing war, with 111 of them still held in Gaza. Abu Obiada, spokesman for the Ezidene AI Kwazam Brigaders, said in a statement that in 2 separate incidents, 2 recruits assigned to gather enemy prisoners fired at the Zionist prisoner, killing them immediately, and 2 injured 2 female prisoners critically, while Hamas had formed a committee to investigate the shooting. Israel's military spokesman Ra Amiral Daniel Hagari and was deeply concerned about their physical and mental condition, given the prolonged time that has passed and the harsh condition of their captivity, while the October 7 attack resulted in the deaths of 1,198 people, mostly civilians. According to the AFP tally based on official Israeli figures, Israel's retaliatory military offensive in the Gaza Strip since then has killed at least 39,897 people, according to the Hamas-run Territory Health Ministry, which does not provide details on civilians and militant deaths. Iran has rejected Western call to stand down in its threat to retaliate against Israel for the killing of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran late last month. The Islamic Republic and its allies have blamed Israel for Haniyeh's killing on July 31st during a visit to the Iranian's capital for the swearing-in of President Masoud Pezeshkian. Israel has not commented. While Iran has vowed to avenge the death, which came hours after an Israeli attack in Beirut killed a senior commander of Hezbollah, the powerful Iran-backed militant group in Lebanon. Western diplomats has scrambled to avert a major inflagration in the Middle East, while tensions were already high due to the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. This is coming after, in a statement on Monday, the United States and its European allies urged Iran to de-escalate and call on Iran to stand down in ongoing threat of the military attack against Israel and discuss the serious consequences for regional security should such an attack take place by the joint statement from Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and the United States. The White House warned that the significant state of attack by Iran and its allies was possible as soon as this week, saying Israel shared the same assessment, while the United States and its European allies also called for the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, with difficult talks set for Thursday on halting the conflicts. And now to entertainment news. Gospel music industry is mourning the untimely death of the rising star Adeke Ajayi, known professionally as Aduke Gold. Aduke Gold's death followed the recent loss of another prominent gospel singer, Egbeni Orun, who died on April 28, 2024. The Igbekele had also confirmed Orun's death via an Instagram post. According to a source who is close to the deceased, Aduke Gold was ill for 2 months, and the gospel singer died on Monday, August 12 at the University College University Hospital, Ibadan. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculata Irikana. You can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.